Time for the Sunday Roundtable right now, and we are joined by Democratic political analyst Marianne Marsh and a new face to OTR this morning, State Representative Hannah Kane, a Republican from Worcester's 11th District. Ladies, great to have you with us this morning.
So this week we have more Democrats running for the White House, Seth Moulton and Joe Biden, one from Massachusetts, the other one practically from here. Anyway, 20 Democrats now in the race. Look at this New Hampshire poll, which may not say much this early, but it gives you a guidepost at the starting lineup. Warren is way behind. Will she stay there, Marianne?
No, I mean, early polls in New Hampshire rarely turn out to be right. John Kerry was losing to Dean only to win the New Hampshire primary. Hillary Clinton losing to Barack Obama in 2008 to go on to win. So if Warren wins New Hampshire, she's off to the nomination. They are putting a lot of resources and working in that state like crazy. Do not underestimate her.
Hannah, from the Republican perspective, is she right about that?
Well, I think what she has to be worried about is Senator Warren has 3 times as many people who say they'll absolutely never vote for her under any circumstances as say will vote for her. So she's got work to do, but I certainly do think it's early. I think it's very tough to tell from this point.
It is early, but that number 5% for someone who, Senator Warren's from Massachusetts, she's a familiar name, she's a familiar face.
And she's been up there
5%.
quite a bit, too.
It's a different year. There are so many candidates and everyone's shopping and everybody wants to beat Trump so badly, they're withholding their thoughts.
All right, so the next one we move to is, if I could get the thing to move over here. Senator Warren, however, is definitely leading on the policy race. Her loan forgiveness program would help 42 million Americans still paying for their education, but it would cost $1.5 trillion. Marianne, could this be her ticket to the head of the pack?
Well, she's used policy to define the Democratic debate in the primary, define herself, and make all the other candidates react to her. She did it on the day of this, college town hall meeting by CNN and the Kennedy School Institute of Politics. But where it's really helping her is with African American women, with whom she's making great inroads because of all these policy ideas. At the She the People conference this past week, standing ovations for her plans.
$1.5 trillion is an awful lot of money.
It's an awful lot of money. I mean, I'm somebody who just had my oldest child agree to where she was going to go to school next year, so I'm certainly in the midst of understanding the cost of it. I think, again, I do think what Senator Warren is doing is setting the pace and having people come to her, and that's, probably smart at this point. But I think once you sort of have people take a larger look at these questions, they are going to start to question, how can everything be free for all? And it's not just in this program. A lot of the substantive policies that are being put out there are basically going to be paid for by the taxpayers as a whole. And I think over time, more of that questioning is going to start to occur, and people are going to say, wait a minute, all this adds up to a lot of money. Is this really sustainable? And in the college plan, I do think that there needs to be skin in the game for the people who are going. I mean, these are people who are going to make more over the course of their career than people who aren't going to college. And so I think the notion of being completely free is really not realistic.
It's free only for public universities and colleges.
Warren was less forthcoming during a CNN debate over the charged issue of prisoners being allowed to vote. It got Bernie Sanders a lot of play, but he also got a lot of heat for it. Take a look.
You have said that you believe that people with felony records should be allowed to vote while in prison. Does this mean that you would support enfranchising people like the Boston Marathon bomber?
I think the right to vote is inherent to our democracy. Yes, even for terrible people.
So, Hannah, will this be forgotten, or does it promise to come back to haunt him later on?
It's going to come back to haunt him. It's already an ad in the making. And I think it just shows that he can be very out of touch with what the mainstream America thinks. And especially, obviously, having that example, being from Massachusetts, particularly hits home about the absurdity of it.
Look, when you pay your debt to society, that's when you get your rights restored. So when you complete your prison term, you get your rights restored. What is more concerning, I think, to a lot of people is many states aren't doing that. And now Florida this past week said for prisoners who get out of jail, to get their voting rights back, they have to pay to get them back, and that is wrong. Pay your debt to society, you get restored as a full citizen.
Next item is Congressman Richie Neal, the House Ways and Means Chairman, isn't having much luck getting President Trump's income tax returns, and he's refusing to answer questions about it. So will he win this battle? Congressman Richie Neal, will he win the battle? Will Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin cave? Marianne, let's start with you.
Of course he will, because it's the law. And when Steve
Mnuchin will cave.
Mnuchin will be looking at 5 years in jail. Now, think about this. Donald Trump hasn't given Paul Manafort a pardon. Do you think he's going to give Steve Mnuchin one? No. So that's how this is going to end. And the fact that Trump said this week, oh, Mueller looked at my taxes. He looked at everything. I'm sure he looked, and it's fine. No, it's not.
No, it's not. What's your read, Hannah?
I don't think he's going to give it up. I honestly think that, it apparent the president does not want people to see what is in the taxes. And I think they're going to hold out as long as humanly possible. I agree it's the law.
It is
but
the
I
law.
also think that there's other laws that have been tested, and I think this is going to be one that's pushed. I think it's going to go to the courts before it gets resolved.
But that's the problem with everything right now. He's not following any law and testing every law, and at some point this country is going to look lawless.
I don't
and
think
that's
this
the
is
problem.
going to be the one, though, that he's going to give in on. I think he's made up his mind. He does not want this shown.
5 years in prison.
We continue on the record. This is fun. We continue on the record. Stay with it.